Good evening, and welcome back to News Around, your trusted lighthouse in the often foggy sea of celebrity news. We live in a digital age, an era where text messages are deleted in seconds and emails vanish into the void of the cloud. But there is something stubbornly permanent about ink on paper. A letter does not disappear when you swipe left, it ages, it yellows, and it holds the weight of the moment it was written. Today, we are investigating a story that feels less like a modern headline and more like a scene from a classic romance novel. It is a story about a spilled handbag, a panicked glance, and a piece of paper that might just hold the key to the most debated relationship in Turkish entertainment history. We are, of course, talking about the incident that has brought Istanbul to a standstill, a moment involving the luminous Sıla Türkoğlu and a ghost from her past that refuses to stay buried. Halal Ibrahim Ceyhan. Was it just an accident, or was it fate forcing a secret into the light? Before we open this envelope of mysteries, I have a small request. If you believe in love stories that defy time, please hit that subscribe button. And for those who want to help us keep uncovering these hidden truths, the join button is your way to support independent, deep-dive journalism. Your support means the world to us. Now, let's go to that coffee shop in Istanbul. The setting was deceptive in its normalcy. It was a sun-drenched afternoon in one of Istanbul's most exclusive districts, likely Nizantasi or Etila, where the elite gather to see and be seen. Sila Türkoğlu, an actress known for her poise and her ability to keep her private life strictly behind closed doors, was enjoying a rare moment of solitude. Witnesses describe her as looking relaxed, sipping a coffee, perhaps rehearsing lines in her head or simply watching the city breathe. But fate, as the old poets say, rarely plays by the rules of our schedules. It happened in a split second. A moment of distraction, a shift in posture, or perhaps a clumsy passerby, the details of the cause are irrelevant compared to the consequence. Sila's handbag, the fortress of any woman's secrets, tipped over. Its contents were not just spilled, they were scattered across the unforgiving pavement. Makeup rolled away, keys jingled against the stone, and the mundane debris of daily life was exposed to the afternoon light. But amidst the lipstick and the wallet, there was one item that did not belong. It was not a receipt from a recent shopping trip. It was not a script. It was an envelope. And not a crisp, new envelope, but one that had clearly been handled, folded, and unfolded 1,000 times. It was a relic. It was a piece of paper that had survived the ravages of time, protected like a holy artifact in the depths of her bag. The reaction of the actress was instantaneous and visceral. According to a source who was seated at a nearby table, a witness whose account has since been corroborated by the frantic energy of the paparazzi present, Sila did not casually reach for her things. She lunged. There was a palpable panic in her movement, a trembling in her hands that betrayed a fear far greater than simple embarrassment. She was heard murmuring to herself, a phrase that was a mix of surprise and self-reproach. "What is that doing there?" Her eyes, usually so composed on camera, widened with the raw vulnerability of someone whose diary has just been read aloud. But she wasn't fast enough to escape the hawk-eyed observation of the fans and photographers nearby. Those who caught a glimpse of the letter claim to have recognized a very specific handwriting. It was a script known to many devoted fans, a signature style that sparked an immediate frenzy on social media. The consensus was swift and earth-shattering. The letter allegedly bore the handwriting of Halil İbrahim Ceyhan. Let's pause to consider the implications of this. We are not talking about a photo stored in a hidden folder on a phone. We are talking about a physical letter carried in a daily handbag. Psychologically, this is significant. A handbag is a transit zone. It contains the things we need now. To carry an old letter in your daily bag is to make a choice, conscious or subconscious, that this object is as essential to your survival as your house keys or your wallet. This incident has effectively opened Pandora's box. The tabloids are talking of nothing else. Theories suggest that this letter dates back to the era when Sila and Halal worked together daily, those long, grueling filming sets where the line between character and actor often blurred. Was it a declaration of feelings written during a break? Was it a promise of loyalty made when the world was against them? Or perhaps, and most heartbreakingly, was it a farewell that was never truly accepted? The image of Sıla Türkoğlu, years later, walking through the streets of 2026 with Halal's words literally weighing on her shoulder, is a narrative so powerful it has eclipsed every other story in the industry. It begs the question, why carry it, if you have truly moved on? This story hits close to home for anyone who has ever loved and lost. It forces us to ask, do you keep mementos from past relationships? Do you have a box, a drawer, or maybe a letter in your bag that you just can't throw away? We want to hear your stories. Pause the video and tell us in the comments, is holding on to the past a sign of love or a blockage to the future? And while you're down there, please like this video. It helps the algorithm find other romantics like us. If you want to dive deeper, join our inner circle by clicking the join button. Now, let's hear what Halal had to say. In the midst of this whirlwind, the media naturally turned their lenses toward the other protagonist of this drama, Halal Ibrahim Ceyhan. Known for his gentlemanly demeanor and his fiercely guarded privacy, Halal is not one to feed the gossip mill. However, when he was intercepted by reporters leaving an event last night, his reaction was not one of denial or anger. It was something far more enigmatic. When asked about the letter found in Sila's bag and whether the handwriting was his, Halal did not scoff. He smiled. It was described as one of those melancholic, knowing smiles that have broken hearts across the globe. He paused, looking thoughtful, perhaps remembering the very moment he penned those words, and then he delivered a sentence that is currently being printed on headlines from Istanbul to Madrid. Words written from the soul don't expire, he said softly. If something of mine continues to travel with her, perhaps it's because there are stories that refuse to end. Incredible. Let those words sink in. This was not a denial. It was a validation. It was a full-blown poetic declaration of intent. Halal did not say, "That's old news." He did not say, "I don't know what you're talking about." He implied that the bond between them is timeless. By suggesting that some stories refuse to end, he effectively poured gasoline on the fire of hope that fans have been tending to for years. His eyes reportedly shone with a special light when he spoke. Far from being annoyed by the invasion of privacy, he seemed almost moved, perhaps even gratified, to know that Sila still cherished that memory. It was the reaction of a man who still cares, a man who understands the weight of legacy. On the other side of the city, Sıla Türkoğlu attempted to manage the crisis differently. Visibly shaken by the exposure, she initially went to ground, avoiding the press. However, the pressure was too great. She eventually broke her silence through a brief phone call with a journalist friend, a conversation that was leaked, likely with her permission, to control the narrative. Trying to downplay the significance of the artifact, she commented with a trembling voice. "Sometimes we keep things not for what they mean today, but for what they taught us yesterday. That letter is just a memory of a beautiful time. Don't look for storms where there is only calm." It is a beautiful, diplomatic answer. But does it hold up against the evidence? Actions, as they say, speak louder than PR statements. If it were truly just a dusty memory from yesterday, why the panic in the coffee shop? Why the desperate need to hide it? Body language psychologists who have analyzed the footage of the incident assert that Sila's reaction was protective. It was a maternal instinct, a pure impulse to safeguard something valuable. You do not panic over a receipt. You panic over a piece of your heart. It was the reaction of a woman whose emotional armor had been pierced. The ripples of this event have reached far beyond the fanbase. Even their co-stars and industry peers have begun to whisper off the record. Rumors circulating in the production corridors suggest that the chemistry between Sila and Halil never truly faded. Insiders speak of a palpable tension that fills the room whenever their names are mentioned together. For a long time, this was just speculation, smoke without fire. But this letter, this is the fire. This physical proof is the missing piece of the puzzle that confirms what many suspected. The breakup was not a cessation of love, but perhaps a pause in timing. Imagine the pressure they are under right now. Every step they take will be scrutinized. If Sila decides to speak more openly about the letter's contents, it could change the trajectory of their careers. And if Halil decides to act on his poetic words, we could be witnessing the prelude to the reconciliation of the decade. We are left with a fascinating paradox. On one hand, we have a woman claiming it is just a memory. On the other, we have a man suggesting the story isn't over. And in the middle, we have a worn, folded piece of paper that refuses to be forgotten. It serves as a powerful reminder that behind the awards, the glamour, and the perfectly curated Instagram feeds, these stars are people. They have pasts that weigh them down, and they have memories they literally carry in their bags, afraid to let go. Are we witnessing a new chapter for Halil and Sila? Or was this the final, accidental closure they needed? One thing is for sure. News Around will be here to track every development. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, make sure you are subscribed. And please, help us keep this channel alive and thriving by clicking the join button. Your support allows us to tell the stories that matter. Until next time, check your handbags, you never know what secrets you might be carrying. Goodbye.